In this video, I remade brand new enemies for my fan game called Super Smashy Maker. Some nostalgic, others quite recent. Let's dive in. The Baboom is a brand new enemy introduced in Super Mario Wonder. What makes this enemy unique are its bright colors and cool firework attacks. Brand new sprites were made to reimagine the Baboom in the SMB1 game style, which look like these. Like some other enemies, if damaged, they can be kicked around and kill others upon contact. To further recreate these guys, I began by remaking this fuse effect after they get hit. This wasn't too difficult using Unity's particle system, and it came out like this. Of course, the smoke follows the Baboom if he gets repositioned as well. But it's not supposed to last this long, so let's start adding in the fireworks. The Baboom shoots 3 sets of fireworks after being hit. The color of the fireworks is based on the color of the current top part of the Baboom, which gives us blue, yellow, and red consecutively. After some time, I was able to recreate the fireworks in all colors. I tried to remake it as close as I could, and even put in some stars like the original. After the explosion, the particles slowly fall down and disappear. The explosion obviously needs to break blocks and kill enemies, but right now it doesn't do anything yet. At first I simply reused the code for the Kabam blast, but then I realized the Baboom blast doesn't work exactly the same. The Baboom's blast radius actually grows over time, working similar to a POW block blast. If you watch closely, you can see that the lower crate breaks later than the upper one. I adjusted my code accordingly, introducing a shockwave-like behavior. Now, rather than detonating simultaneously, the blocks and enemies explode gradually over time. Here is a fun sequence showing off the fireworks destruction. That's working very well. Now let's actually add them to the Baboom himself. If the Baboom is jumped on, the fuse effect starts, after which the first fireworks are shot. Just like in Super Mario Wonder, the Baboom loses its current top part after the shot is fired. In this case, I just made it disappear, so to make it more detailed, I made them fall either left or right. The direction they fall in is random, mirroring the behavior of the original game. Next I fixed the timing on the spawn and explosion of the fireworks, as they weren't fully in sync yet. Now, when a new firework is spawned, the previously launched fireworks explode, mimicking the behavior seen in Super Mario Wonder. Now we can fully enjoy the Baboom in the SMB1 game style. My question to you is, what should its wing behavior be like? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're down there, it really helps out a lot. Another new enemy from Super Mario Wonder is the MawMaw. These enemies work similar to Yoshi's as they eat everything they can. This includes Goombas, coins, and power-ups. For the remake in the SMB1 style, I used these sprites, but for now we can only walk and inflict damage, so let's start coding. The first thing I wanted to add was the detection behavior. When the MawMaw sees something edible, he'll start running towards it with his mouth wide open. To recreate this, I gave him a detection range, represented by this yellow box. If Mario moves inside the box, the MawMaw should start attacking. For now I just made him stop walking because the detection is not done yet. In Super Mario Wonder, even if Mario is in range, the MawMaw won't see him if there is something in between, like this pipe. As soon as we jump up from behind it, the MawMaw detects Mario. With our current code, that won't work. To fix it, I added a line of sight for the MawMaw, represented by this red line. If Mario gets inside the yellow box, the line is drawn towards him. Then the game checks if the line hits something solid before it reaches Mario. If that's the case, the MawMaw will continue walking. In this example, he doesn't see Mario until he jumps up from behind the wall. Now that the detection works, let's continue with the MawMaw's attack. After an edible is detected, the MawMaw first acts surprised and then fully opens his mouth, after which he starts running. The running only lasts for around 2.25 seconds, and if he hasn't caught anything in that time frame, he'll be tired and need some time to cool off before he can walk again. Looking pretty good so far. The enemy also needs 2 hits to die. If he's jumped on once, he'll stop walking and briefly display a dizzy animation. If he isn't hit again during that time, he'll just continue walking. But if he gets jumped on another time, he'll be fully eliminated. Now let's actually make him eat things. Our test subject is this Goomba. If the MawMaw hits the Goomba in his attacking phase, he dies. I also gave him a little satisfaction animation, as if he is happy he just got to eat something. This also works as a small cooldown, before he can start detecting more victims. At the moment of creating the eating behavior, I tested it out with some big enemies, like this Goomba. The MawMaw could still eat it, but it felt a bit weird. An enemy this big should not be able to be eaten, right? So I made sure the MawMaw just ignores big enemies because he knows they're too big to be consumed. This enemy can also eat shells and other projectiles and spit them back out. I figured adding this piece of code later together with the Yoshi's as it shares a lot of the same functionality. But anyways, what do you think of the MawMaw so far? Next up, I let my gaming nostalgia take over and chose to recreate the KabOmb from New Super Mario Bros. DS. This enemy is basically an alternative version of the normal Baboom. If it's jumped on, it instantly dies, but if it gets struck by a projectile, like meteors or fire, it'll start chasing Mario and eventually jump up in the air to explode. In the SMB1 style, he looks like this. Using an imaginary fireball for testing purposes, the KabOmb does a small jump when hit. This also changes his sprite from green to red to further signify he has started attacking. After being hit, his speed triples, making him go exactly as fast as walking Mario. In his attack phase, he'll follow Mario around, so if Mario jumps from one side to the other, it'll take him around a second to realize and turn around himself. Looking at it like this, the KabOmb is still missing something, being his fuse. I quickly added in a visual effect to make it look less bland and boring and enhance its authenticity. Afterwards, I encountered a small bug where the KabOmb got stuck against walls. Obviously, he should turn around, but luckily it was a quick fix. There we go. After about 4 seconds of chasing Mario, the KabOmb decides to completely stop, jump up, and explode. For the jump, I gave the KabOmb a unique sprite just for some more detail. He jumps up around 5 blocks and reaches it in a quarter of a second. We can see here it jumps right through the blocks too, which means he loses his collisions with the terrain, so I adjusted my code accordingly. At the peak of the jump, the KabOmb explodes. In NSMBDS, the blast actually doesn't kill enemies or break blocks, it only damages Mario. Even though this is quite unique, I changed it to be the same explosion as a Baboom to keep it consistent. This means it will destroy blocks and kill enemies. In NSMBDS, I couldn't really test to see what would happen if a KabOmb attempted to initiate his jump mid-air. After all, you need ground to jump, and it would look something like this if you jump ungrounded, which doesn't look that great. So I decided that if he's airborne, he'll just explode immediately, ensuring smooth gameplay and visual continuity. With the KabOmb fully realized, let's continue with the last enemy for today. The Foo is a cloudy enemy that generates mist which can obscure the player's vision. Recreating this guy was pretty fun. I started by adding in a custom death animation which makes it seem like he's fading away. Right after, I made him turn towards Mario at all times. This is important because he produces fog in Mario's direction. Then I started developing the mist effect. It uses sprites that change over time and get bigger. It covers Mario just enough to where you can still see him and he's not fully hidden. The fog particles slow down and fade out at the end of their lifetime to make the effect more natural looking. I then gave the Foo a blow sprite and made sure he always generates the fog into Mario's direction. I was happy with the results, but it got me thinking about maybe adding in some wind as the Foo blows. Basically like the 3D Foos, called the Typhoos. I tested it out, slowly pushing Mario away, and didn't feel like that bad of a change. It would only affect Mario, not enemies. But then I realized we have wind levels in Super Mario Maker 2, so I decided to delete this functionality. Anyways, that's it for this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more custom Mario content, and check out this video in the meantime. Thanks for watching.